Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy. And today we're going to be discussing the CFPB and the lawsuit they have going on with Experian. But before we do, I want to preface this by saying this video was actually one that I did not want to make, but I've had an overwhelming amount of comments on my channel asking me to tell people how to use this lawsuit to somehow remove information from their credit report. Now, with that being said, I'm assuming it's because other people have done videos talking about that or made it seem like that was something that could be in fact done. But I want to clarify some things, but I also really want to have a conversation because I didn't even plan on making a video today. But this is not a video that, again, was planned. I'm gonna riff. We're just gonna talk. You guys are like an extended family. We're gonna have a family discussion. That's what we're gonna be doing today, because even though this is a channel about financial literacy, if you're new, you're going to get something different than what you normally see with other people on YouTube. I really talk about life success, not just financial literacy. We really talk about a lot of life. I'm going to say something that actually most people would never tell you. Before you go to YouTube as your number one source for information, I will implore anybody watching this video going forward, don't watch someone on YouTube to get all your information. At least don't make it your first place to go. If you want to learn something, especially when it comes to stuff like this, go to the source. And once you go to the source, internalize that information and start asking yourself a lot of questions. And then if you want to achieve a certain outcome, like let's say, for example, you want to remove information from your credit report, read this and ask yourself, how is this information going to help you remove information from your credit report? Or not just this, in life, period, just anything, any piece of information, read it, internalize it, process it, and then ask yourself how you're going to use that information in order to get an end result that you would like to achieve. Because like I've told some people in the comments already, this is a civil suit that the CFPB has. The CFPB has several civil suits. With every civil suit, what happens? They sue for monetary value. If you don't know what a civil suit is, literally, we're in the information age. You could ask SIRI. I can't say it because I have HomePods and they'll all go off. But you can ask that thing what a civil suit is, and that thing will tell you. If you have the other one, the Amazon version of that, ask it. It'll tell you what a civil suit is. It's not any criminal, right, charges. It's just to get money. There's a monetary gain from anything that they violated. Okay, so let's first start by just kind of reading this. Experian does not properly investigate disputes and fails to remove or reinserts errors on reports, which we've already known this, threatening consumers' access to credit, employment, and housing. This is a discussion I think that we've already had. Like I've said before, this is a coordinated effort from companies to keep you subprime. Whether that be through, again, we all make our own choices in life about what to do with money, our finances, what our values are, what we care about. We all make choices, right? But they condition you to push you to make bad choices with money, or take high interest loans, or you're in a situation where you really need it because of your economic conditions. There's ways that people can push you in a direction and you don't have to go that way, but somehow it always seems like that's the way it goes for a majority of people. There are a few that can catch on, but not everybody. The point is, this is something that is a coordinated effort. You make more money from subprime lenders. If I wanted to make more money, I'm going to charge you more for something, right? All I need is a reason to do it. Oh, you have bad credit. That's a good reason for me to charge you more interest to make more money. It helps my bottom line. The CFPB alleges that Experian does not take sufficient steps to intake, process, investigate, and notify consumers about consumer disputes, resulting in the inclusion of incorrect information on credit reports, inaccurate or false information on consumer reports. We don't need to go further on this. We know what good credit does for people. We know what happens when your credit is bad. You get access to more capital. You get access to more things at cheaper rates with good credit. Bad credit, of course, it costs more or you're denied. We know that already. We know what the repercussions are. Now, conducting sham investigations that fail to properly address consumer disputes. So when handling disputes, Experian uses faulty intake procedures and does not accurately convey all relevant information about disputes to the original furnisher. I have at least 10 hours or more, probably over 20 hours of videos that I can play for you. You can watch me talk for probably 3 or 4 days straight on this channel from videos about this information. We've talked about this. We've covered it. We know that, and not even from me. Don't even listen to me. As a matter of fact, you can read court cases where Experian has said, explicitly said, they've said it from their representatives at their company. They've said it. They do not have any humans handling these disputes. They've said it themselves. This isn't new information. We've all known this already. We didn't need the CFPB to sue them for us to already know this. They've had civil suits from individuals like you and me. You can file a civil suit if you want to have an impact or get some monetary gain from it. You can do it yourself. Anybody can. So Experian has other information available that suggests the furnisher is unreliable. At the conclusion of the investigation, Experian sends consumers notices that fail to inform them of the investigation results and instead provides information that is confusing, ambiguous, incorrect, or internally inconsistent. This is literally the process that I've given to you guys. The round 1, round 2, round 3 for charge-offs. Investigation, re-investigation, and the third round is, if you have watched any of my videos, you did not actually verify this information. It's inaccurate. Now I'm asking you to delete it. That's how so many people have gotten deletions by watching my videos, because information that I provided based off of the law. Okay. There's no loophole. There's no trick. There's no whatever these videos have been telling you. This won't make a difference. This lawsuit will not help you delete any information, but we're going to go over once again what will. So enforcement action under and this is what you should be looking at under the Consumer Financial Protection Act. That's what you should be reading. The CFPB has the authority to take action against institutions violating consumer financial protection laws, including the FCRA. This is a civil suit to get money, which can be paid to victims in a relief fund. That is the outcome of this. And more than likely, what Experian will do is they will more than likely just come to some sort of amount, which will be a slap on the wrist for them for all the money that they're making. They're going to take, whatever that little amount is, they're going to put it into a class action, basically, something like that. The money gets spread between all the people who claim it. I'll probably make a video about that, how you can claim your money. And then that's going to be it. Okay. The point is that you guys need to stop watching videos on YouTube and really start paying attention to what's going on around you and paying attention to what the laws actually are. I'm not a credit repair specialist. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a regular guy, but I'm very thorough with my research, right? So if you want to know what you can actually do to get information off of your report, let's actually talk about that. Let's talk about facts. Let's not just look at this and say, what can I do? Let's get some facts. Now, this might make them scrutinize the dispute process a little bit more. They might change a couple things around to accommodate the law. They might change their verbiage around. I doubt they're going to change their process. Their process has worked for them for many years. They make a lot of money off of this. They're not going to change their entire business model for this little lawsuit. They're going to pay whatever little amount they have to pay, a little slap on the wrist, give them their money. We'll change the verbiage around for the disputes. And then that's going to be it. They're not going to change their entire process. They make too much money. It's not going to change. Okay. But here's what you can do. Right here. This is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. If you want to know how I came up with all of the things that I've done on my channel when it comes to credit, and again, I'm not a credit repair specialist. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a guy that talks about financial literacy on YouTube. And to be honest, that's just a guise for this channel, because financial literacy is something that I was just privy to, that I did on the side. When I turn off my camera and I do other things, I don't do no financial literacy stuff. I mean, I invest, I do things to make myself money. But when I'm talking about what I care about, it has nothing to do with financial literacy. Like, that's not my passion or anything. That's just something that's like, if you live in America, you want to speak English because that is the national language. Well, the national language in, to me, the world is going to be money. Everyone needs it. We work for it. We fight about it. We kill for it. We steal for it. We do all these bad things for it. That's the universal language to me. So if I want to survive in this country, I need to be fluid in that, and you do too. That's like the real part of it. That's what matters. That's what matters. All right. We should all be fluid when it comes to financial literacy. We shouldn't be illiterate when it comes to finances. That's why it's important. All right. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act. If you want to understand exactly how to dispute anything on your report, this is how I came up with everything. It's all here. Guys, it's all here. Look at the contents. All here. Civil liability for willful noncompliance. That's all the CFPB did. Right here, some of you guys asked me about child support. 622. Information on overdue child support obligations. 623. Responsibilities of furnishers of information to consumer reporting agencies. Right there. That's where you should be. Well, what page is that on? 87? Cool. Let's scroll on to 87. Let's go read. And the reason why I'm doing this right now is because, like I say, if this is a family conversation, my videos at some point won't be relevant anymore. And my credit right now is not bad. So I'm not actively looking to fix it. I like to make make content about things I'm actively doing, right? So I'm not a credit repair specialist. I'm not going to go back and try to talk about credit repair if my credit is already good. I am revising all of my videos throughout the rest of this year to make sure that the methods that I put out last year still work. As far as I know right now, they all still work. If they ever stop working, then I may go back and update it, or I may just say you may have to go somewhere else. Or what if happens if I just stop making videos about that altogether? Like, I just don't even update them anymore. My point is that you have to be self-sufficient, and you have to be able to think about how to get this stuff done on your own, because no one's going to care more about this or about your credit or about your life than you will. They won't. I don't care who's on YouTube. YouTubers make videos to get money. I'm getting compensated for making this video, and that's the truth. The difference with me is I don't make content that I don't think is not helpful to people. I'll never do that. It just goes against my ethics. I won't do it. I'll only make a piece of content if I think it can actually do something for someone. If I don't believe that, I'm not going to put it out just to get views. I won't. Because the thing about it is, when it comes to making money is being able to provide people with value. I'm a valuable person because I have valuable skills. I can go anywhere and create value. I have many skills. I don't have to be this. I can do anything and make money. I'm not worried about making money or getting money from you or getting your views per se. I appreciate it when you watch, but it's not my bottom line. Like, again, I'm riffing, I'm ranting a little bit here, but that's just because when people are asking me these questions, I'm thinking like, why are so many people putting out this content knowing that they're not helping people? You're just putting videos out with titles to get them to click on it, but you're not really trying to help them, right? And I guess it bothers me a little bit. Notwithstanding any other provisions of this title, a consumer reporting agency shall include any consumer report furnished by the agency in accordance with section 604 of this title, any information on the failure of the consumer to pay overdue support, which is provided to the consumer reporting agency and verified by any local, state, or federal government agency, and antedates their report by 7 years or less. All right. So all this is telling me is that they can report child support to your credit report if you fail to pay, and they can do that up to 7 years or less. That's what I'm getting from this. Just by reading it, that's how, if you had to type this into somewhere else or type it into Chat GPT and ask them, what does this mean? Chat GPT will explain to you what this means. If you want someone to interpret it for you, then you can do that too. I'm just saying, like, you got to do it for yourself a little bit, guys. So 623, responsibilities of furnishers of information to consumer reporting agencies, duty of furnishers. Now, this is what's important. Okay, so they can report child support. This is how you get information off of your credit report. It's right here. This is public information. This is on a public domain. Anybody can access this information. There's not one person on a YouTube video, anybody that can do more for you than you can do when it comes to credit. I promise you, no one can do any more. As long as you have the information. Literally, these laws right here are the same laws for me, for you, for this guy, for that guy, for anybody. It does not change. It's the same, which means as long as you understand it, you can interpret it and you can manipulate it however you want, as long as you understand it. And then you have to actually take some action, put it into practice. All my videos came from me interpreting this information, writing it, putting it into practice. And then I came up with a method. Oh, this worked for me. Make a video about it. I put it out. It may work for you too. Is that a guarantee? Nothing's guaranteed. Your profile is as unique as a thumbprint. Everyone's is different. I don't know what's on yours, and I can't say if it will work for you for sure because I don't know everything that's on your credit profile. Okay, so with that being said, let's just continue because this is how you teach a man to fish. I'm showing you exactly how I've done it. This is how I did it. I got the information, interpreted it, wrote it out, disputed it. Let's wait and see what happens. Oh, deletion. It worked. Let's repeat it again, see if it works again. Oh, it didn't work. Let's go back and revise. Let me reread this. Maybe I interpreted something wrong. Let's do it again. Of course, the bureaus don't again abide by all of the rules that are on here, which is why we're able to get the deletions. Okay. So they are prohibited from reporting information with actual knowledge of errors. A person shall not furnish any information relating to a consumer to any consumer reporting agency if the person knows or has reasonable cause to believe that the information is inaccurate. That's a law. That's a law. B, reporting information after notice and confirmation of errors. A person shall not furnish information relating to a consumer to any consumer reporting agency if the person has been notified by the consumer, which means if I tell you at the address specified by the person for such notices that specified information is inaccurate and the information is in fact accurate. That's saying if me report to you or I tell you, I notify you, the Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, that this information is inaccurate, you need to do something about it, investigate it. And if it is in fact inaccurate, it needs to be deleted. So one of the main reasons why this got revised in 2023 was for this right here. So when it came to COVID-19, right there, reporting information during COVID-19. Remember, if you have watched my channel a few months ago, I came back with a video about late payments where I said, hey, here's an idea. I never tested this idea out. Again, I don't have any more late payments. But I said, hey, I read it right in here and said, that looks peculiar. Like that is different. I've never read this before. It was revised. Things change, right? This is why you need to stay on top of information and don't just listen to someone. I've never seen anybody else on YouTube talk about this. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And that's because they don't actually do research. They just get information from other people on YouTube and then just repeat it. I actually research this information that's available to anybody. If you really want to help someone, you would actually put in the work and the hours it takes to interpret this information and then give it to people if you really cared, right? So right here it says reporting information during COVID-19 pandemic definitions in this subsection, accommodations. The term accommodation includes an agreement to defer one or more payments, make a partial payment, forbear any delinquent amounts, modify a loan or contract, or any other assistance or relief granted to a consumer who is affected by the coronavirus disease 2019 COVID pandemic during the covered periods. Covered periods. The term covered periods means the period beginning on January 31st, 2020 and ending on the later of 120 days after the date of enactment of this subparagraph, or 120 days after the date on which the national emergency concerning the novel coronavirus disease 19 outbreak declared by the president on March 13th, 2020 under the National Emergencies Act 50 USC 1601. And then it basically, this says Expect as provided in clause if a furnisher makes an accommodation with respect to one or more payments on a credit obligation or account of a consumer, and the consumer makes the payment or is not required to make one or more payments to the accommodation, the furnisher shall report the credit obligation or account as current, or if the credit obligation or account was delinquent before the accommodation, maintain the delinquent status during the period in which the accommodation is in effect. And if the consumer brings the credit obligation or account current during the period described in items, report the credit obligation or account as current. Now, this is how I interpreted that, because it's a lot of information, right? I get it. It's hard work for you to read this and try to interpret what the law states. From what I got from that, it says a couple things. It says that they need to report the delinquent information during the period in which it was delinquent in effect. But if the consumer brings the credit obligation or account current during the period, the item reported the credit obligation or account as current. So that would tell me, hey, during the COVID-19 period, I had a late payment. Potentially, maybe you can update that if the account is now current. If you wanted to even add this subsection, then you can. Now, that's what I interpreted it as. It does not mean that that's what it's actually saying. That's my interpretation, because it's saying a lot. It's also saying that if it was late, then it's late, it's going to report it. But there are subsections. You have to read each subsection. And this is what I do. Hey, I try. I put it in there. I say, hey, give it a shot. Let's see if it works. If it works, awesome. That's a new method. That's a new method with new information, right? Again, anybody can do this. This is what I do. I sit in my computer for hours and hours and hours and just study information. And then I go and actually try to then do something and see if it works. And then it works. I make a video. I report it back. All I'm saying is, you don't have to just ask questions. You can go get answers yourself. The answers are right here. And if I didn't make a video covering it, this information can get revised. There might be new, different methods you can use. You got to go through this, guys. You have to go through it yourself. Don't just look at YouTube or look at a CFPB lawsuit report and then a bunch of videos saying there's some new loophole that can delete all your information. That's not true. It's not true. If you want to know what you can do to help yourself to fix your credit, here's the law. Here's the law. This is it. Someone telling you that because now Experian's getting sued means that you can wipe everything off of your report. It's not true. It's not true. You know how you get it deleted? You follow what's in here. There's the fair debt collection practice. Look at the collection accounts. A lot of that stuff is illegal. A lot of collections. But you have to see, that's why it's different from me making a video and telling you than it is from you actually reading and then going to interpret yourself. And that's why, like, that's the biggest difference when you want people, like if you had kids, you would want your kids to be independent, right? Like you don't want to have to spoon feed your kids when they're 40 years old, right? You want your kids to be able to go out and go learn, experience, do things themselves. What I'm saying is, man, just the next time that you see one of these videos, because they will come out, if it sounds too good to be true, go look up the source of the information, right? If you want to know your rights in America, certain places you can't just carry around a gun, right? You need to know your rights in that state, in that county, in that metropolitan area. Like, you would know your rights. This is no different. You need to know. And if you don't know, don't just listen to what somebody said. Cross-reference what they said with something else and then process it. If you don't understand it, again, chat GPT. If you still don't understand, talk to somebody who does. Talk to an attorney. Invest in your own education. Invest in your own knowledge. Be skeptical. Question everything. It's okay to be skeptical. It's okay. And again, I'm not a credit repair specialist. I'm a guy who just does research, and I'm very thorough about the things that I look up, and I'm very careful about the things that I say and do, and also put out to other people for other people to consume. Right? So all I'm saying is, as careful as I try to be about the things that I put out and say, you should be careful about what you take in as well and interpret it for what you will, and then start to create some of your own methods and your own processes. It's a, even if it takes you time, it took me time. I did the same thing that you guys did. I went on YouTube, watched all the same guys' videos that I see now, and none of them helped me. None of them helped. Some of them gave me bits and pieces of little things, but a majority, like I would say like 75% of it did not help me. 25% did. And the 25% that did, I salute those people. They, for giving me that. And the other 75% of me repairing my credit was me. It was me. So who's going to be the person who's going to repair yours? Not Steven. It's going to be you. You're going to do it for you. It's not going to be me, not going to be any other YouTuber, nobody else. It's going to be you. All right. I apologize for the long video. That's the end of my rant. It probably was not what you wanted to hear whatsoever, but hey man, that's life. Life is like that. There's going to be a lot of things that you don't want to hear, but it's not about what you want. It's about what you need. You get what you need. All right. And you will get out of this as much work as you put into it. If I can be a conduit to help you get there, then I would, by all means, I would love to do that. I would love to be a resource. I will not be the end all be all. Even if your credit is repaired, you still got life to deal with. Life is still going life. You got enough to deal with. You got taxes. You got the government. You got inflation. You've got all the other ones, racism, sexism. Like, you have a bunch of other, we all got problems other than just this. Okay. So when life gives me problems, I plan an attack of how to deal with that thing and conquer it and beat it. And that's always been how I move. So I implore you to do the same thing and just be diligent about your research. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and you have a wonderful day.